Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
On the field, he was considered one of the most feared and electrifying pass rushers in NFL history, an offensive coordinator's nightmare, unquestionably one of the most fierce and dominant pass rushers of his generation. Reggie simply told the young lineman, "Jesus is coming." Before he lined up for the next play, Golick told the guard in front of him, "Just to let you know, I'm taking a play off, I need to see this." As the young offensive lineman approached the line of scrimmage, he continued to talk trash and cuss at Reggie. Once they got into their stances, Reggie repeated, "Jesus is coming." When the ball was snapped, Reggie yelled, "Here comes Jesus," and hit the lineman in the chest, shoving him back into the quarterback for a sack. Reggie then stood over the young lineman and said, "I told you, don't cuss me."
New covenant, they don't know what the new covenant. I make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not the church. The house of Israel and the house of Judah. I will write my Torah on their hearts. The question boils down to this: why did God have to make a new covenant with the house of Israel? The reason he had to make a new covenant with the house of Israel is because he divorced her. Within every covenant, there's always a blood sacrifice.
Right.
And there's always a meal offering and a drink offering. So the new covenant is a new wedding. And the Bible said there was a thick cloud over the mountain. The word cloud in the Hebrew, if anybody's ever been to a Jewish wedding, you know that all Jews get married under a huppah. Okay, it's a tent. The Hebrew root word for cloud is huppah.
Interesting.
So God put a hoop over the mountain, and he was marrying Israel. Okay, so what happened is that Israel went against the covenant, they disobeyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So he divorces her. He has to make a new covenant with her. So he dies, so he become a new man replacing the old man. But there's something to this. She has to die too. So she can become a new woman replacing the old woman. The first wedding, Mount Sinai. The second wedding, Mount Zion. In the book of Revelation. So we have another wedding that's coming on because this bride has to be repaired so she can become a new woman so she can marry this new man. So we're going to be going through 12 gates, which represents the son of Israel, and they're not going to be any Gentile nations that's going in there. It's going to be grafted in nations and the nation of the descendants of the sons of Israel.
So who are you saying the church is?
The church is Israel.
Well, who are these people?
They're Israel.
Israel.
Because Paul said we're grafted in.
So we're the new Israel.
Yes.
In his blood.
Yes.
So the church then is
the Kahal, is Israel. It's the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's it.
What Jeremiah's repeating in Deuteronomy 24, that if a man finds any uncleanness in his wife, he finds she cheated on him, he can give her a writ of divorce, put it in her hands and send her away.
Mm-hmm.
If she go and marries another man, he decides he dislikes her, he can give her a writ of divorce, or if he dies, she can't marry the first husband ever again.
All right.
She can go and marry everybody else, but the first husband she can never marry again. So why did he have to make a new covenant with us? The reason he had to make a new covenant was so that he could remarry Israel. So that he could become a new man replacing the old man. He can't marry her in the state that he was in before because he divorced her.
But what I'm trying to say is, y'all have to, this is not the way. I mean, we have
What's
to
the
work.
way? What's the way?
I'm not saying that there
Peace,
is particular, I'm just
love,
saying you can't work this way by
singing.
killing everybody, you know what I'm saying?
What's the peace?
We gotta pray the most have forgive us. We gotta hope and pray that
We tried that. Okay, we tried. Look what happened to Martin Luther King. He wanted peace and he got a bullet in his head. Okay, you black people's gonna have to face stuff. This country was built on.
And said, Behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord had made with you concerning all these words. Then went up.
Okay, that's it right there. So the old covenant was in effect when Moses sprinkled his blood, sprinkled the blood of the bulls and goats. So when Christ came and shed his blood, he mediated the new covenant. Moses was the mediator of the old covenant and mediated the old covenant when he sprinkled his blood. Because the covenant is a blood covenant. It's a blood covenant. You understand what I'm saying? So when Moses sprinkled the blood, the old covenant was in effect. When Christ shed his blood, that's a whole new covenant because it's a whole new priesthood. Christ is not from the seed of Aaron, nor is he from the tribe of Levi. You understand? But from the tribe of Judah and from the seed of David. So that's something brand new. That's why it says of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood, because nobody from the tribe of Judah ever gave attendance at an altar. You understand? Even when David went into the temple and ate the showbread, it wasn't lawful for him to do